Good afternoon, people. This is Solomon Auto Repair. This is a 2016 Ford Fusion Hybrid. I believe it's the Platinum Edition. Anyway, so what we're replacing today is the vacuum pump. We had a code, if I remember correctly, it's a C1010C1, which was saying there was an issue with the brake system vacuum pump circuit. And so this is the issue here, which is the vacuum pump. So anyway, this thing was shorting out. I hit it with my relay tester on top, the vacuum pump relay, and I was putting power to it, so you can hear it activate, but it was dragging really bad, and then on occasions it wouldn't even activate. So I did check ABS module and things like that, but I only had that single code C1001C1, if I remember correctly. So anyway, I didn't see many videos on this car on how to replace this vacuum pump. I think there's a smaller version. I'm not sure if there's one on this car, but that's the only video I've seen. But anyway, so what I did is I had to drain the coolant first of all. Make sure you drain the coolant, make sure the car is cool enough to work on. So I drained the coolant. I had to take off this plate here, which goes right underneath, right under here. And so the first thing I did after the coolant was drained is I had to disconnect one of the thermostat assemblies, which is this one here. It's about 4 hoses to it. It was a little complicated on one of them, but I was able to get it off. So just be really careful. Try not to rip any hoses at all. Anyway, so once I took that off, I had access to the pump, which goes mounted right up in here. So what I did is I unbolted this secondary pump. I think that's what it is, secondary coolant pump. Moved it to the side. Put a little plug there, that way it doesn't be dripping coolant. And so I was able to remove it that way. I think the book was calling for me to remove the radiator fan and all that stuff through the bottom, that way it comes straight out. I just thought that was too much work. So anyway, so I did that there, took off the 3 bolts. This upper bolt right over here was a little hard to get to, but not too bad. And once I did that, make sure that you unplug the connector here. And there you can see it. Disconnect that carefully. You don't want to pull that and end up ripping that apart. So what I did is I took off the bolts on this rear motor mount, and I just put a strap here. And I put it somewhere where it was safe. You know, you don't want to put it somewhere where the aluminum's weak and you can break it. So what I did is I put the strap here. It pulled the engine towards the back, and I was able to have enough room to maneuver the vacuum pump out with the whole assembly. So it wasn't too bad. I thought it was worse than that. But I hope this video helps anyone out there that's trying to get this vacuum pump or has an issue with that code that I mentioned, which was a C1001C1, if I remember correctly. And that's the only code I had. So ABS module, relays, all that was out the door. And like I said, I tested it with a relay tester on and off. And I could hear the pump working, but it was dragging. It felt heavy. And then it wouldn't work on occasion. So that was a dead giveaway that the vacuum pump was no good. And the same thing, you know, it would affect the hybrid function. If I remember correctly, it's like a light blue when the battery is being charged through the hybrid system, and that was actually coming off, and you can hear the engine revving really high. So that's one of the issues that it has when that vacuum pump goes out. So I hope this goes well, and of course it's just a video, it's not for training purposes or anything like that. But make sure you get it checked first, a proper diagnostic always. You know, don't go directly to what I'm telling you here. So you know, I'm not liable for any issues or parts being put on and not working. So like I said again, that's something that worked for me. Like I said, get a proper diagnostic. If you're gonna work on it on yourself, same thing, get a proper diagnostic, and just make sure you know what you're doing with the coolant and all. Always work on it when it's cool. And I hope this works well for those who are watching it. So this is Solomon Auto Repair. You guys have a great day.